Hey kids, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. My camera's really giving me a hard time lately. Sorry. We have the Washburn on the bench. We're finishing it up. Refer to the first video. We did some wiring harness, pickup harness, cavity. We basically had to fix some really bad wiring in this guitar. We have that all sorted out, and we're ready to go forward with the cleanup and string and set up, but we've got other stuff to deal with first. I kind of don't know where I'm at with this guitar, but then I remembered, oh yeah, the nut fell out and we got to put that back in. So I'm going to pull that off. We got the knobs got to go back on, but I want to clean it up. We're going to polish the frets. We're going to oil the board like we always do. We're going to restring it and do a complete setup. So I hope that catches you up with my tongue-tied intro. Am I semi-straight here? This camera, boom, has been giving me trouble. I'm about ready to shit can it and get a new one. I just want to get this out of the way so I can clean up this. I don't see a whole lot in there, but we want to clean it up and get it ready to take the new nut. Let's see what it really looks like. Or the old nut. Yeah, there's quite a bit of goop in there. You got to clean that out. And there's a couple of ways to do that. I just take a 1/4 inch wood chisel and it will almost always fit in there, which it doesn't. And you just want to kind of chip away at the old glue. It's usually so dried and chippy that it'll pop right off. Try not to take any wood. I don't always show this. Sometimes you gotta, this channel really doesn't look that good to begin with. It's actually divoted out here. This channel wasn't dug out very well. But we'll make it work. Yeah, so the outside of this side of the channel is good, and then there's a big divot right there. The wood dips down, and then this side is all level with the very end of that side, and that's what we're going to attach the nut to. We know we'll be okay. It was just put together poorly, really, routed out or whatever you want to call it. Get out of the way. So a little super glue, and we should be golden. Yep. We're going to get that glued in there and let it dry before we move forward. I'm going to start, while this is drying, I'm going to start cleaning up the frets and what have you. You know. So my advice is use very little. You don't need a lot. A little bit of good Loctite super glue goes a long way. That's the stuff we use. A little bit goes a long way. A couple of drops here and there and you're golden. Make sure you clean up the nut too. Yeah, we're good. So we know this side is going to grab, and we know the very end is going to grab. You also want to put a little bit on the front surface, just a drop here and there, where it'll go against the end of the fretboard. And try not to get it on your fingers. And the key part is to get it centered in there before the glue decides it's not going to let you move it anymore, which is right there. Yeah, I don't think this is the original nut to the guitar. It doesn't seem like it is, but it's in there, and that's the one we're going to use. And when we do the setup, if it needs to be adjusted or cut, or nut slots need to be adjusted, then we'll deal with it when that time comes. Yeah, holla. We'll know in a few minutes if that found a purchase or not. So the frets are all gray, and some of them are so corroded that they're actually sticky. You know what we do. Got to clean them up. They're coming right up, so it's just outer tarnish that's on them. And I'm not going to show this entire process because I never do, but you get the idea of what we're doing, and we have to do it to every single fret. And then there's a polishing aspect that we're going to use a different product to actually take the tarnish off after we lightly, and I mean lightly, sand off the outer layer of goop. So I'm going to put you on pause. When you come back, these will be all cleaned up and nice and polished. Yeah, they're going to look nice. Stand by. So we got all the frets polished up. I want to check. Yeah, these are all loose. Yup. They don't need to be super tight, but they need to be snug. And yeah, some of these are really wonky and loose. I'm thinking we're missing some bushing. Is missing off of this one, is it? I think so. I wonder if I have a bushing for that. Better find out, because that one's missing a bushing. That's why it's so loose and wonky. Pretty sure I got some bushings somewhere. If I have them, where the hell did I put them? That's the question. I'm 100% sure I had some somewhere. Well, I may have to pause again briefly and find out where did I put those damn bushings. Where's that confounded bridge? I would have bet anything I had them in here. I would have lost that bet. Okay, I gotta pause. I have to find them. I need to put a bushing on there. Stand by. Okay, so I found a bushing. I put one in there. It was really loose and wonky. In fact, there's a couple of them that are loose and wonky, but that was the only one that was missing bushing. Just want them to be snug. They don't have to be super tight, but if they're really loose, pull them up slightly. You just want a little bit of feel to the finger when you're tuning it, and that's what that bushing facilitates. Yeah, follow? That was the one right there. We had to put a bushing on it. It's good now. Now it feels like the rest of them, and they're all snug. Get them all lined up. I'm getting ready to restring it, so we're pointing in the same direction. Just makes it easier. So next step is, I don't usually show cleaning a guitar, but it's not as hard as you think. Just get everything out of the way, spray a little stuff on there, and clean it up. I mean, we're doing a restoration, that's a different story, but this is just cleaning it. Get all the crap off of it from the previous owner. Like I said, this guy just bought this guitar. He did not spend a lot of money on it, but that doesn't bother me. Like I said, I can tell you that the Grover tuners cost more than what he paid for the guitar. That tells you something. And he's putting a little bit of effort and time with me into making it a player. And I admire that. I like that. That's cool. We're going to make it a player. We're also going to clean it because it's dirty. Why wouldn't I clean it? Why wouldn't I clean it? I don't always show this, but I do it on every guitar that hits my bench. I clean every one of my customers' guitars, unless they're so far gone that they have to be relegated to the firewood pile. And sometimes I've already cleaned them and wiped them down before they get relegated to the firewood pile. Refer to, whoops, I yanked my camera all out of the way. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Wow, that's a first. That was almost a catastrophic failure. Refer to little 3/4 scale SG that I cleaned up, did a whole bunch of work on, got it all set and ready to go, and realized that, yeah, that guitar was never going to play right. It was an Epiphone from China. Oh, I can't believe that. I have never, ever had something fall off the bench that bad. Oh, well, human. You know. These things happen. If your guitar tech isn't taking the time to do this for you, when you bring him or her one of your instruments to work on, find another guitar tech, because this is part of it. This is 100% absolutely part of it. Are we doing a full restoration cleanup? No, but get the crap off the guitar. Don't hand it back dirty. Right? You see how long it took me in actual time. Now, if I was going to do a restoration, you know, you've seen my videos. You take the tuners out, gut the guitar, get the buff wheel out. Yeah, I mean, okay. Some clients want that. I don't think that's where we're going with this particular instrument. You follow? What was I going to do? Oh, we got to oil the board. Actually, this rag is done too. I'm going to get rid of it. Oil the board. And again, I know many of you have seen this, but this is the last step in dressing the frets. For me, I oil the board. Unless it's clear coated, you can skip this step. If the board, the actual fretboard, has been clear coated, and you don't put oil on it. But if it's open grain, get some oil on there, and that's all it takes to apply the oil to it. Now I'm going to let this set on here for about 5 or 10 minutes, and when we come back, we will buff it off. Stand by. So once you get it on there and you let it sit for a little while, you just kind of buff it off with a paper towel. You can see the difference in the fretboard, the wood. Cheap guitar? I don't think so. I think it's a nice little guitar. And you can see the difference now. It's clean. You see the tarnish coming off of the frets already. That's from cleaning them, polishing them, and then we're going to do one last little step. I'll show you here in a second. This is just getting the excess oil off of the fretboard. You let it sit on there and let it soak in, and this one was really dry, but you can see the difference in the color already. I mean, come on, what a difference, right? One last little thing you do, you get after these frets. Just the frets. And this takes the last little bit of whatever is on there off. Now, yep, you can go way farther with frets, but these were not in bad shape and did not need it. I've said that a million times. And I have also done way more on many different guitars. Our nut is set and it's holding. Guitar is cleaned up. Get our knobs back on. Get them oriented in the same place. Yup. Why is that one still trying to turn on me? What did you not do, Luch? I know I fixed that. Maybe that's why that thing was in such terrible condition to begin with. Well, we may be putting new pots in this. I thought these would work. Yeah, that pot is problematic. Why is it acting like that? I think that pot is no good. No bueno. It is acting very oddly. And I don't have any mini pots. I know it's working. Probably we should test it one more time because it really is. Now it's really acting odd. Yeah, that pot is... That one's good. I can feel something not doing what it's supposed to. I wish I could put just another pot in there. It is not the pot that's actually turning, it's the inside of it. Well, let's finish what we're doing, and then I'm going to have to put a new pot in there. I'm going to have to source out a new mini pot for this thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still working. It just acted kind of weird before. If I had mini pots in stock, I would have just put them in. You know, it's working, but that thing is... What happened here? You know, it is the inside of the pot's coming apart. Well, we can finish the setup, and I will put a new pot in tomorrow before I get it back to the customer. No question. It may have been just putting that knob on there. Finally made it go, well, that's it. I'm giving up the ghost. All right, it happens. It happens. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. We'll fix it. We will fix it. All right. Worst things have happened, I can tell you that. It'll literally take me 10 minutes to swap that pot out. I'll get one tomorrow. Today is Sunday, so I'm not going to venture out to get a pot. I have full-size pots, but it won't go in that route. Where is this? So, you've seen this before. We're going to string up the instrument. I'll be right back after we have all the strings on, and then we'll do the setup. So we got it back. It's all strung up. Everything looks pretty good. Let's see where we're at. Good. Yeah, I like that. Definitely that pot right there is bad, but it's not going to stop me from finishing the setup. Tomorrow I will solder in a new pot before we give it back to the client. Everything else will be done. So I had no idea where the setup is on this guitar. So we're starting from scratch with that. And he did give me a complaint that he had buzzing strings in various positions, and no kidding. It's so straight that it needs some relief. And we know. There we go. That neck has probably been in that position for 100 years. That's probably too far. Retune. Definitely got some relief on it. Right. I'm pretty sure that might have gone too far. Let's see. Man, when you're good, you're good. Perfect. I like that. I like that. 12 thousandths at the 7th fret. It was so flat that there was zero neck relief. So yeah, buzzing, absolutely. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I would be absolutely shocked if it wasn't buzzing. Let's see where our string height is. It's way high. Way high. Yep. So we got some neck relief in it now. We need to go down with our string height. Remember, I was cleaning up down here and boogered. These things got moved inadvertently, and it doesn't surprise me that the string height is really high. We're just going to run it down, retune it, and double check everything. Well, guitar is really responding well. I mean, it's coming right into tune, right into pitch, whatever you want to call it. So right now I'm just concerned with string height, and then we'll get to the intonation. Boy, good guess. 5/64 and 4/64. Well, good guess, and all I did was run them down randomly. I think I'm going to pull this one up slightly. Down just a bit. Just a bit. Yeah. Yep. Intonation. Let's see where we're at. Make sure you're tuned to pitch. It's a little sharp. Yeah, and I can see the saddle is all the way forward. You can see that. Let's get some intonation going here. Oh, I can live with that. Maybe just a bit more. Yeah. So I'm only going to show you one string because I have to do that process with them all, as you know. I like that. Who knows where the rest of them are? Sharp. They're all going to be sharp. So I can tell all the saddles are like almost all the way forward. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to get the intonation set, and then I think that's going to be pretty much it. Stand by. So we're golden, except for that guy right there. Intonation is set. String height is set. Neck relief is set. All of that is good. We need to pull these pickups up slightly, and we did have these out. So I was just guessing at the height when I put them back in. So pretty close. Well, after you do a few thousand of these things, you get a pretty good eye where to preset things. But I guessed at it. Oh, all right, I'm a mile off there. That guitar is set up, and it's ready to play. Even with a bad volume pot, I'm sure we can make it play a few chords. I will fix that up tomorrow. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, those pickups are a little high. I don't know what it'll sound like, but let's see. It sounds pretty cool. Wow, it's really intonated well. When the guy brought it to me, he goes, "Is it worth it? Is it worth and he told me what he paid for, and I go, any guitar is worth that much if we can make it play and stay in tune. And this one is actually intonated very nicely, and it is staying in tune. I would play more for you, but you know, I say it every time. Not a guitar player, but this guitar is ready to go. We're gonna swap out that pot for him. I can't let it go like that and say, oh, by the way, I didn't have any of those pots in shop. I'm gonna make that happen tomorrow, and I'll give it back to him. And plus, I'm gonna let it settle overnight and be ready to go. So we know all the electronics are sorted out except for the volume pot, and that thing just gave up the ghost. And I would have changed both of them if I had them in stock. I was sure that I had some, but I didn't. But I repeated myself enough now. We'll fix that before we give it back to him, and that'll be that. Blackjack with 396 guitars. Washburn, yeah, it was, what do you call it? Let me see here, BT-2. The guy didn't know what he had. He just bought it on a whim or whatever, but it's a really nice little guitar, and it's going to be a really nice little player for him. We'll talk soon. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and please share.